Hi, I'm Frank with Ricmotech, and welcome to this episode of Sim Racing Tips and Tricks. Today we're back in the shop and we're going to take the G27 Shifter and we're going to perform a couple of mods to it which will improve its feel when you're driving. So if you're ready, let's get started. So here we have the Logitech G27 Shifter, and while it's not a bad shifter, it does have a couple of flaws that we can improve upon. One of them is there's a very plasticky feeling when you shift, and that shifter hits the plastic body. It almost sounds like an inexpensive click, and really takes a lot away from the sim racing experience. So we're going to apply a mod that will solve that. And another improvement that we're going to make as well is this shift boot. It tends to creep up to the top, and when you shift, it tends to pull on it. This one, in fact, has a small tear in it from doing that. But that restricts the movement a little bit, and we're going to resolve that as well. Let's take a look at the tools and supplies we're going to be needing to perform this job. We're going to be needing a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. We're going to be needing a small flat screwdriver, a pair of shears, a small container to place parts in, a 2.5mm Allen wrench or hex wrench. Then we're going to be needing a 6-inch length of the loop side of Velcro or hook and loop fastener. And a 1/2-inch grommet or a 1/2-inch O-ring would also work. Alright, so let's begin. We're going to start by removing the plastic cap off the shifter. We're going to use our small flat screwdriver, and over here on the right hand side, we're just going to insert it carefully, and we're going to pry up, and then we can work our way the rest of the way around, and that will remove the cap. The reason we want to start on the right hand side is the shifter knob has a recess for a screwdriver to come in underneath without damaging anything. Then next we want to take our number 2 Phillips screwdriver, and we're going to reach down into this hole with the screwdriver, and there's a screw inside that secures the knob onto the shaft. We're going to unscrew that. If your screwdriver is magnetized, that screw will come out with it. Otherwise, you can simply pull off the knob and shake it out. Next, we're going to remove the 6 hex screws that secure the ring for the shifter boot. As we remove each screw, we're going to place it into our parts container. Once all the screws have been removed, you can simply pry up on this ring, and it may stick from the glue that's used to secure the leather boot, but just wiggling a little bit will get that to release, and you could set that aside. At this point, I feel it's better to show you the mod already installed so you can get a feel for how it's going to go in. If we take a close look here, you can see that the fuzzy side of the Velcro is wrapped around the inside opening of the shifter. This is what prevents the shifter from contacting the inside of the plastic and making that hollow plasticky sound. To install this part of the mod, we want to take the 1/2-inch loop side of the Velcro. We want to trim it to about 1/2 inch width or so, about 12 millimeters wide, and then we're going to peel the backing off, and we want to wrap it around the inside of the shifter opening and trim it using our shears down to size so that it doesn't overlap and create any extra bulk in there. Now that the fuzzy side of the Velcro is installed, we're ready to put our boot back on. So simply slide the boot over the shaft into position. You'll see that there's a boss on the bottom of the ring, and there's a hole in the front here, and it needs to align with that hole. So that'll keep your orientation correct. Then simply take each of the silver hex head screws and put them in. Careful, because these go into plastic and you don't want to strip it, so you want to try to find the original thread that it went into and follow that same thread rather than cutting new threads into the plastic. Now that all the screws are in place, we can take our 1/2-inch grommet or 1/2-inch O-ring, and we're going to slip that down over the shaft. And we're going to slide it down so that it holds the boot down away from the shift knob. We want to leave a little bit of exposed shift knob. I'm sorry, exposed shaft. So you want to see approximately 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, not much more than that. And you can just actuate the shifter into all the different gears just to make sure that it doesn't pinch the boot in any direction. But you'll feel definitely that you have less tug on it because this boot isn't sliding up and down the shaft every time that you go into and out of gear. So the shift knob goes back into place in only one orientation. So once it's down, you'll see that you can't rotate it. That means it's correct. You're going to take the black Phillips screw that came out of there originally. If you've stuck it on a magnet, it'll magnetize. Otherwise, you can magnetize your screwdriver with a refrigerator magnet even by just rubbing it a few times. And that'll help you get it into the right position easily. Once that's in, take the plastic cap. You'll know the orientation. If you don't, there's 3 tabs on the back, and they'll line up with the 3 holes into the top of the shifter. And there you have it. It's all done. And now the result is when you shift, you no longer hear that metal to plastic contact that you did when you shifted before. It feels a lot more solid, doesn't distract you from the game, and it feels a lot more realistic. But we hope you enjoyed this episode and the mod that we did to the G27 Shifter. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more upcoming episodes. Visit our website at www.ricmotech.com for products that will improve your sim racing experience. Or check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Ricmotech. Again, thanks for watching. See you again soon.